to go to Iraq, yet another front, if you can call it that, in this chaotic war. A drone attack sparked fires at warehouses of U.S. energy firms, big ones, Halliburton and KBR. The attack was in the port city of Basra, which is obviously crucial for oil exports, and was targeting a compound housing employees. This is Reuters' latest reporting, and you can see the flames there in Basra. It's happening just hours after the U.S. Embassy in Baghdad warned Americans to leave Iraq, and they had explicitly warned that hotels could come under attack in the north of Iraq, in the Kurdish area, that those hotels could be attacked. And soon after that, in fact, it actually happened, and it was a drone that exploded near a hotel in Erbil, which is the capital of the Iraqi Kurdistan region. Our Clarissa Ward has been there through the week in this war, and it was a pro-Iranian Islamist militant group in Iraq that claimed responsibility for that, just showing the complexity of the Pandora's box that may indeed already have been opened here. Clarissa, what are you learning about that warning, the explosion near the hotel, and of course now you're seeing U.S. oil and energy firms under attack in Basra?
That's right, Erin. Things definitely escalating here in Iraq. Just in the last few hours, the U.S. has conducted at least 2 airstrikes near Mosul, the city of Iraq, against these Iran-backed Iraqi militias that have just been hammering any U.S. presence they can inside Iraq, the oil companies, the embassies. We have also seen in the last few hours a number of rockets being fired towards the U.S. Embassy in Baghdad, and all of this really raising concerns that this is rapidly getting out of control. Erin, you talked about the hotels. This was a new development last night. The State Department, or I should say the U.S. Embassy in Baghdad, putting out a statement warning people against staying in hotels in Iraq's Kurdistan region with a large number of foreigners staying in them. Well, the issue with that, Erin, is that all of the contractors who work at these various oil companies and gas fields and U.S. consulates and U.S. bases have largely been moved off of those places and into hotels throughout this region, just literally a few hours after they had put out that warning that people should avoid these hotels. We saw 4 drones coming into the center of Erbil. Most of them were intercepted, but one of them appeared to explode next to, or hitting even, a hotel in the center of town. I should say that it looked like a fairly small drone. The damage was not extensive, but all of this sending a very clear and very chilling message, which is that civilian targets are not off the table and civilians are not off the table. And the Embassy of Baghdad urging Americans to leave Iraq as quickly as possible. As of yet, of course, the airspace is still closed here. They recommended using overland routes, potentially to Jordan or Turkey. But for the leadership here in Iraqi Kurdistan, but also in Baghdad, don't worry, those are just fireworks. There are real concerns that all of the escalating tensions could put really profound pressure on the Iraqi state, which, as our viewers may understand, after many years of war, is really based on a sort of fragile latticework of allegiances and alliances that are now being challenged in real time, Erin.
All right, Clarissa, thank you very much. In Erbil, and you could hear those sort of explosions behind Clarissa. She said those were fireworks, but just shows how jumpy people are, but also perhaps just the oddness of the juxtaposition of sometimes more normalcy of life continuing next to what's actually happening here in a war zone, where you've got millions and millions of people sitting, waiting, wondering what's coming next. Now,